It's been a while.
Indeed.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever it is you celebrate. I hope you have at least had a couple of days off work or school.
A Festivus for the rest of us.
Yes, we follow Frank Costanza's holiday traditions in this household. The airing of grievances was particularly interesting this year.
I don't like tinsel. It's very distracting.
Yes. Anyway, hi guys.
We did make a substantial donation to the Human Fund, though.
Money for people. In case the last 30 seconds have been completely impenetrable, we...
Oh, what, are we live? Oh.
We watch a lot of Seinfeld. Josh has actually memorized all of it. It was one of the things that first attracted me to him. I didn't know what Seinfeld was, but I thought it was hilarious that he could quote entire episodes from memory.
That's so
apparently
sad.
With his biceps. Yeah, so hi. It's nice to see you. Hello everyone in the chat. Thanks for joining us.
We are Digital Hammurabi.
We are.
Dr. Josh.
I'm Megan. Hello. Yeah.
That's all I got. This is Megan's show.
So it's not my show. In case you haven't checked it out, Josh has a Sumerian grammar video series on the channel, which to our great surprise is singularly the most viewed series. I think the video one. The first lesson is the most viewed the most viewed video on our channel by far.
It's 55,000 views,
which is insane. We genuinely didn't think there'd be that much interest.
I thought there'd be 55.
Grammar. Yes, exactly.
Ultimately.
Mm-hmm. So off the back of that, Josh had put together all these notes and these exercises. So he thought, we'll just turn it into a book, and he did.
Wow.
It's a good book.
Wow.
And then he gave it to me, and then I made it even better.
That was a great way to describe that. It was like
it was already good. It was already good. Yeah. So we have it, and it's officially on Amazon. You can. This is the front cover. Look, it's got our names on.
This is all Megan.
It's very exciting.
Like she designed. Yeah.
I did, but it was a pleasure to do. I like designing things. I'm going to say right now, if you have ordered a copy or you are planning on ordering one today, I have found typos.
They're not huge.
They're not. We weren't actually planning on launching this officially until the 1st of the month after the proofs had arrived, so I could go through them.
So let me just set the record straight. It was me. I got really excited. Possibly sent the link when I maybe shouldn't have sent the link. Totally my fault.
So if you've ordered one,
you see this scar right here,
and you find typos, I am super sorry. I'm really happy to, if you can send them back to Amazon, great. The revised edition should be out by the 1st. If you want to keep it, go for it.
It'll be worth millions because it's the first edition with errors. It's like that Billy Ripken card that had the error on it. I've told you more than I remember.
Yeah, so I just wanted to get that out there because I don't want people ordering them and then them arriving and being really, really disappointed.
Because in one of the lessons, Itty is mouth instead of month.
Look, I'm a perfectionist.
You are. We will make a list of all the things that are wrong.
Actually, I will do that.
It'll take all of 9 seconds.
Shh. But yes, so we wanted to show you some of the inside because it's really pretty and I'm really excited. Everyone asking for signed copies, yes, definitely. If you're planning on going to Faithless Forum this year, we should be there. Please bring your copy. We will sign them. If you cannot make it, then email us.
Yeah, we will buy
some and sign them and send them out to you. Can definitely do that.
That was my sign language.
Yeah. So email us digitalhammurabi@gmail.com if you would like a signed copy, with errors or without errors. Preferably specify, And we will definitely autograph them. Mr. Atheist says that he wants us to circle the errors, and then his copy will be worth billions. Jimmy, I love you. I think that is a very, very optimistic view of things. We have Shannon in the chat. Hi, Shannon.
We have some cool people.
We have some of the best people here. We have all of our awesome regular people. We have No Name and Tinsmith and Richard Madsen and Lieutenant Galloway and
so
the best people.
I guess we should come right out and say this is not an inspired inerrant grammar.
No. Oh, and I should also say this is volume 1 of 3. This is very much an introductory grammar. It's for someone who has never studied an ancient language before, never studied a foreign language before.
We should show them.
Yeah, we should show you the inside. But there will be 2 more editions following this, though. 2 more volumes following this. So this is the very extensive table of contents. You can see like all the stuff. But I just want to click through to one of the chapters so you can see what we mean when we say that this is genuinely intended for someone with absolutely no experience.
I can do like a mini book reading.
You go for it, my love.
Learning to read any ancient language begins with learning the signs or symbols that the language uses to write its words and phrases. With languages like Hebrew, Greek, and Latin, the task is relatively simple, as they each use an alphabet, a fixed set of individual letters or symbols that represent the basic sounds of the language. Scroll.
Sorry.
Sumerian, on the other hand, loses my place. Oh. Yeah, sorry, there it is. Uses a system of writing called cuneiform, which is used to write words and syllables rather than individual letters. That means there are many more signs to learn than what you will find in a standard alphabet. Thus, instead of initially learning all the many signs that are used to write the language, the cuneiform, we will learn to read the language primarily in English characters. However, with each lesson, the student will learn a handful of cuneiform signs, building a repertoire of sorts that will allow them to read simple cuneiform texts.
So this is kind of the level of language.
Ooh, can we go down to the preposition chapter? Just so, because that is kind of introductory, but I wanted to write it. So I'm kind of responsible for like it's just, I think chapter 2 or 3 is fine.
Oh.
But I kind of wrote the grammar side of it, and then Megan did absolutely everything else. So she, like I did just maybe a little bit further. Oh, so you can see that. Yep.
Right. So we have each chapter has a vocabulary section for you to go through and learn. Very limited. Then we've got a section of cuneiform signs for each chapter.
That one says, "Oh snap!"
And then there are also 2 sets of exercises. In every chapter, there are exercises in English, in like the Roman alphabet, so you can go through and just translate without having to worry about mastering the cuneiform. But if you are interested in actually learning the cuneiform and testing your knowledge, then there are exercises later, like at the end of each chapter, that lets you go through and work out what the signs actually say and then work through their grammar.
So this is let's see. Okay. There are a few things as frustrating as learning the verbal system of a foreign language. Past, present, and future tenses, passive and active, first, second, and third person. It can be enough to make you scream. Worry not. In Learn to Read Ancient Sumerian, we have strategically broken the verbal system up into manageable parts. In this lesson, we will provide a basic introduction to Sumerian verbs. In later lessons, we will look at the different tenses in Sumerian, how they modified verbs for person and number, and the different parts of the verbal chain. I'm going to skip down a little bit. If I can.
Yeah, you go for it. So Trevor Lunn is asking if he reads through this book, will he learn the conundrum of why how many fingers our avatars should really have. I've actually fixed them, so now they always have a consistent number of fingers, unless it's physically impossible to see all of the fingers.
My brain just went somewhere, and
You're an awful person.
I was gonna say they all have one.
No.
So this is kind of getting into a little bit of the grammar. Okay. So before we start talking about transitive and intransitive or passive and active verbs in Sumerian, we should probably take some time to review these concepts in English grammar. This is sort of this is my underlying thought throughout the entire grammar. I'm assuming English grammar isn't really a strong suit of the reader, or even English grammar. So we go back to basics.
Yeah, everything is explained in what we hope is easy to understand language.
So here, let's start with the difference between transitive and intransitive verbs. What is the difference between the following two sentences? Johnny walks, Johnny hit the ball. Beside the actions themselves, walking and hitting, in the first sentence, Johnny is just performing an action, walking. However, in the second sentence, Johnny is doing something to something else, called the direct object in grammatical terms. So in English, there are two types of verbs that we can use. Verbs where the subject does something to something else, and verbs where it doesn't. If the subject, Johnny, is doing something to the direct object, we refer to the verb as being transitive. You can think of it as the type of verb where the subject is transferring the effects of the verb to the direct object. Johnny is transferring the effects of hitting to the ball. If there is no direct object, we call the verb intransitive.
So hopefully those kinds of explanations mean that people with zero training in grammar will actually know what on earth we're talking about. We had someone ask what font this is. I think this is a Century Schoolbook. I can check that and let you know if it's super important. But as well as explaining things in the body of the text, we have several indices at the back, one of which is a glossary of grammatical terms. So if you are reading through something and you can't remember what a particular term means, or you just need a brief reminder, you can go to the glossary, look it up, and hopefully the explanation there will be enough to kind of get you back on track.
Do you want to show them one of the explanations in the answer key?
Yeah. We also, so we've got several indices. We've also got, that's still the grammatical terms. Let me see. We also have a pretty substantial sign list. All of the signs that we list in the book are at the back here. These numbers here correspond to one of the major sign lists that are used by Assyriologists, which is this one up here.
Altbabylonische Zeichenliste.
That one by Mittermeier, which is there for people who would like to dive a little bit deeper and would like to go and see what a real sign list looks like. You can you can look up, use our little number here and look up all the different forms of the Mach sign. So that is there. We also have a glossary of proper nouns, because a lot of the time the exercises and the inscriptions that we've put in there for you to translate use words that you probably aren't familiar with if you've never studied Mesopotamia, like this, Abzu. If you don't know Mesopotamian mythology, you're not going to know what the Abzu is. So we've provided a little explanation there. So when you're reading through and you come across a noun that is completely unfamiliar, you can flip to the back and see what it is.
There's a question. Would the book be good for school-age kids? I'd say
high school.
Yeah,
and maybe middle school.
Yeah, like 7th grade and on. If they're able to learn, I would say, yeah, definitely high school. If they're studying German or any other language where they're having to get into different parts of speech, it's the same level. It's written in that fun, sort of a fun.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely high school.
Yeah.
If you've got academically inclined middle schoolers, I
Mhm.
think this would probably be fine.
And the nice thing is it corresponds very, very closely to the video series.
Excuse me.
So you can use them in tandem.
Yep. Which is useful. It does have some extra bits that the video series doesn't have. So the bulk of the information, the lessons, are basically the video series.
Yeah.
They've been edited and changed around a little bit, but the information in the video series is mainly what is in the bulk of the book. So if you have no money and you really want to learn Sumerian,
Yeah.
go to the video series, because you will get
80,
like 80 to 90% of what is in this book.
Well, as far as the grammar is concerned,
Yeah.
probably 80 to 85%.
Okay. A lot of
maybe 87.3.
A lot of the extra stuff in here is, well, the appendices, as we saw, but also there are additional exercises. So the cuneiform exercises at the end of each chapter are new. They are not included in the video series. Actually, comments on the video series is what prompted us to include them in the book. People wanted to be learning the cuneiform signs and using them a lot earlier than they were in the video series. So we've included them in here. And I've also included several hand copies. So hand copies, hand copies are basically someone's drawing of a cuneiform text. Mine are drawings based on either other drawings or photographs that are freely available online, because I don't have a collection of cuneiform out back that I can go and just copy down for you. So I've made my own hand copies for you, and there are 4 of them, I think. So by the end of the book, if you've worked all the way through it, you will be able to translate these inscriptions.
Oh yeah, and I would say without a great deal of difficulty,
very easily.
This is really fun. By the end of the book, and I really don't think, given how it's written, and given the video series that you can use and the fact that you can email us and ask questions, you should be able to, by the end of book 1, go to a place like the British Museum and read a lot of the tablets.
Yeah.
A lot of, if you have like shogi inscriptions.
Actually, this one here is in the British Museum. It's super easy to read. It's as clear as that. So
I know that right now
you could go there and just read it.
It may look like a chicken has like tap danced on some wet clay, but
it's, yeah. Once you've worked your way through, this will be very easily read.
And the nice thing about it is, do you want to scroll to one of the where I do that explanation?
Yes. Of the cuneiform, or just one of the lessons?
Oh, one of the lessons is fine. So we'll just show, here's one from lesson 7. So the line that's that line at the top, the lutu a to she mu'un yar, that's what's
written in the lesson exercise.
Then we show you how to normalize it, which if you get the book, you'll know what that means.
Yeah.
That was very scary.
Weird. Sorry.
Then the translation, the man set grain in the house. And then I give an explanation.
And there is an explanation for every single exercise in this book that goes through in detail all of the grammar.
One of the things that happens with a lot of different grammars, and I would say in my experience, like Hebrew, Greek, Akkadian, Sumerian, a lot of times you'll get an answer key that will have, you know, a translation, but not really an explanation as to how they got to it. So what we tried to do here, as you can see there, the E on lutu is the ergative, cross-referenced in the verbal chain by the N before nyar. Now, by the time you get there, you'll know what all that means. Showing it to be a hum-to third-person singular verb. She is the direct object, marked with a 0, the absolutive, and the A on atu or A2 is the locative in. And so, again, by the time you get there, you'll know what all that means. So when you get down to that exercise, you'll be like, man, what is that shed doing there? Oh, it's the direct. I see. Okay.
And having such a complete explanation means you can really make sure that you understand what it is all the different components are doing.
Yeah.
Which I always struggle with when I'm doing my own translations.
We all do.
And finally, before we switch over to the Amazon page, so I can show you exactly where it is. After the hand copies, after the information, all the pictures, I've provided, in case you wanted to do more translation, all of these numbers
a lot of time into this.
are individual cuneiform inscriptions that you can look up online and read off the screen. They go to, hang on. They go to this website, which is called the Cuneiform Digital Library Initiative. And these numbers, they're called P numbers, very imaginative. Cyrologists are known for their imagination. All you do is you copy and you paste them into this bottom box, and then you have a whole other inscription to translate.
Boom, shakalaka.
And if you have trouble reading the photos, which can be tricky, sometimes there is line art that you can go to and read. But there is always, in every single example I've included, there is always a transliteration. And a transliteration is when an Assyriologist has sat down and written the name of the sign that they can see. So this is Shulgi, Nita, Kalaga. So by the time you've worked through the book, you'll be able to look either at this or the line art, or even just the transliteration and translate that text, which is cool. So
it really is.
There's a whole bunch there for you to work through. Hopefully that'll keep everyone going until the book is actually out. Mr. Atheist would like to know what your P number is.
I had a number.
And also Ultra Testosterone says that you have a really... Oh no, No Name says you have a really big brain, which is true.
That's really sweet. I feel like my big brain is a little slow.
Ultra Testosterone said that you're a stud.
Aw.
Which is true.
You guys are very nice.
Anyway, so yes, this is the Amazon page. If you weren't here for our disclaimer at the beginning, this version currently has typos. I have revised it. It has been submitted to Amazon for review, and as long as the gods are good to us, it will all be updated by January 1st. I will put notices up everywhere, all over YouTube and Twitter and Facebook. If you order it now, you will get a copy with typos. Some people are very excited about this. If you would rather wait until you get a copy without typos, I completely understand. Please do. We have, so this is the paperback version. We also have a Kindle version that will be available on January 1st, and it should be up for pre-order within the next couple of days. Kindle version will be $9.99.
We tried to keep the price
reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm going to emphasize that Josh put a hell of a lot of work in there. Someone wants to know how you write lolcat in cuneiform.
What?
Lolcat.
What's that mean?
LOLCAT. It's a meme thing. I'm not sure. Mainly because there's no O in cuneiform.
Oh, yeah. You
could do LUL, I guess.
You write it like...
Yes, so this is what the page looks like. And look, we've got a fancy looking side thingy.
Ooh,
which
fancy.
Is really
exciting. Hey, look, can you scroll to where it says Digital Hammurabi Press?
Yeah, right.
Aw,
right
snizzle
there.
my mizzle, extra salt on the frizzle.
And we have an ISBN number and everything. Yeah, so you can look through the table of contents and see if it has everything that you would like it to have. And you can read the preface. That's
it's
cool.
It's a preface.
Ha 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 ha.
It's not really a preface.
And look, that's my fancy, super duper fancy map.
And if you look closely, it says in small print, I'm the map, I'm the map.
It does not say that. Anyway, so that is where you get it from. There's a link in the video description. And if you get it, look at this very sad...
It is very sad.
Sad customer review section. Sad customer review. Please, if you get it and you like it, leave us a review because it really does help. If you are not in the United States, which is possible. We have many international viewers. It should be available on your local Amazon site. You probably will need to just search for Sumerian grammar. It should turn up, but it is there. I promise.
And we're using a printer that is...
Yeah, so you won't be paying for shipping from the US. You should just be paying domestic shipping. So
we tried to make it so that it was
reasonable,
not only cost effective, the price of the book, but also so that we used a printer that would print everywhere. So
I'm switching back to that.
Oh.
Ha, 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 ha. Mr. Atheist wants to know, how do you write button in Sumerian? Did they have buttons?
Oh, I don't think it was... I don't think buttons were created till the Ming Dynasty.
Fat Photog is going to buy one so he can cuss someone out in a different language. Unfortunately, there are no curse words in this one. Maybe the next one.
We can recommend some literary text if you'd like.
We can, yeah.
Curse
Lots
words.
of cursing. Iron Charity wants to know how Oliver is. He's in bed, thank God, because he's been a clingy mess today. He did not sleep at all, which was super fun. But he is too. He is loud and happy and really likes dinosaurs right now.
And at Christmas, when we would hold up a wrapped package for him, he would go, "Wow!" He wouldn't do that once he opened it and saw what it was.
He just liked the packages.
Yeah, he would just go, "Wow!"
Okay, so some people are saying in different Amazon sections they only have the Kindle version. I will try and look into that and see.
Really?
Yeah. I'll see if I can work out what's going on there. I'll email Amazon if nothing else.
Are there other people that are having trouble?
Yeah, there's at least 2 so far.
Oh, man. Is it because we're making those edits?
No, it shouldn't be, because they're still available on the US site.
Huh.
I will look.
Bastards.
Bastards, indeed. I will look and try and fix it. Yeah. Which is very sad.
So now...
Yeah, so that's 3 people. The Dutch site,
the
Australian site, and the UK site.
I'm the Sam Hill, Bobby. Now I'm a veteran of 2 foreign wars. Damn it, they're the ones been whacking. So now that we know...
we have a question, 2 questions.
I'm just going to sit
here. Sorry. 3 questions. Oh, gosh. Okay. Chris Baker, do the Near Eastern languages share the same grammar style? It depends on the language. Sumerian is a language isolate and is related to no known language ever. Akkadian is a Semitic language and shares distinct similarities with Hebrew, Arabic, Aramaic. That kind of thing. Autobot Starscream, is Bel the Sumerian or Akkadian name of Enlil? Neither.
Marduk.
Iron Charioteer, where did the Jews get the concepts of monotheism and the idea of good and evil from, and heaven and hell?
I mean...
I don't know.
So there's a sort of a... not staple. What am I thinking of? Classic treatment. That's not the word I'm looking for. Fundamental treatment on a lot of those issues is Mark Smith's book on what's the title?
I don't know.
Damn it.
Sorry.
If you search on Mark Smith and monotheism, it'll come up. I just can't remember. And if Chris Hansen's in the chat now, he'll put it in the side chat very quickly. But he's probably already furiously typing it, along with 3 other works that
would be also useful.
Would be good.
Someone asked if Josh has kids. Yep, he has 3 kids.
There.
One of them's I produced. Oh, yep, there's Chris. He's got the thing.
I was gonna say, now that we know how to do this, how to publish, like actually the steps and everything, we have the slavery book complete. Now it just excellent origins of biblical monotheism. Thank you, Chris. He's on it like white on rice. I don't remember what I was saying.
Sumerian book. No, slavery book.
Oh yeah, the slavery book. So the slavery book is and I think I've actually gone through it a couple of times, like proofread it a couple of times.
You've done most of the formatting as well.
Yeah, it just needs to be put into.
Yep.
So that should be able to come out quickly.
Yep. No name. I've recently come across a Tamil professor who claims that Sumerian and Tamil are related. Are you familiar with that? Yes. There are always people who pop up and say Sumerian is related to Chinese or Tamil or Sanskrit, or
there is.
There's been nothing concisively.
Gonzalo
That's the wrong
Rubio,
word, isn't it?
If you look up Gonzalo Rubio, what is the name of the article? I don't remember what the name of the article is, but Gonzalo Rubio wrote sort of a really good article on this. I want to say it was in the last 10 years. Anyway, Gonzalo Rubio.
Basically, no Assyriologist has ever
agreed
with any of these arguments. They are always arguments made by people with a less than perfect grasp of the language, often for nationalistic reasons, which is very interesting. But as far as Assyriology is concerned, Sumerian is still a language isolate.
Heck yes, it is.
Someone called Josh says, "Hi, glad I caught this. I've been watching your Daniel series and I'm hooked on your total dad jokes."
Oh.
You do have the best jokes. Mr. Atheist, can you please recite the entirety of Rap God by Eminem? He actually could.
But the problem is that we get busted for copyright.
That's true.
We wouldn't. I can't recite the whole thing. It's entirely too fast and very, very long.
I'm genuinely shocked.
He's very fast.
I know. It doesn't normally stop you in the car.
Oh. No, but that's where the one where he says supersonic and then he...
Oh, that is a fast one. He'll practice and get back to you. Jay Passett, completely off topics. Please say that boy ain't right as Hank Hill.
You know what? That's offensive. The funny thing is about impersonations, I can't do them. Well, there are only a few voices that I can do without reciting something specific that I've heard. In other words, the reason that I can, not that I say
you have a tonal memory.
Yeah, so like I can't do a British accent outside of something that I know. For example,
you can go the entirety of Bed Knobs and Broomsticks in a Cockney accent.
Sausage and mash, bubble and squeak, tonio, fried fish, anything at all. I'm afraid you'll find no fried foods here. No fried foods? How you keep your health? But I couldn't do that for a normal conversation. So.
David J, do you think Ashurbanipal could read Sumerian?
That's tricky.
Yeah.
So he worked. I mean, he prided himself on, being able to work with the scientific texts, which many, of course, utilize a great deal of Sumerian. There are lots of different types of Sumerian. So could he read Sumerian literary or liturgical texts? I'd have to do some reading.
Yeah.
I would suspect no. Sumerian by that point was
specialist.
Yeah, quite. And particularly when you get down into like the Seleucid period, Sumerian it's a different grammar, really. That's a complicated question.
Yeah.
So maybe some stuff. It's like, I feel like that's in a way asking, could the merchants in the old Assyrian period read Akkadian? Yes and no. Like they could read Akkadian in a very restricted form.
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't have been able to pick up.
Right, they couldn't have read Gilgamesh, but they knew enough to keep their accounts and to write to their family.
Yeah, and I mean they could read their own Gilgamesh.
Yeah, that's true.
Literary text.
So we have some more questions. Mr. Parker, I saw in the description on Amazon about how Megan animates for the children's channel Anna Mesopotamia. I couldn't find it. That is because I wrote that description not planning on it being public until January 1st. We are launching our kids' channel, Anna Mesopotamia, on January 1st. We'll be doing another live stream to celebrate the fact. There will be balloons, confetti, probably neither of those things, but there will be links in descriptions so that you can actually go and see it.
I'm going to mute us for a second.
Yeah, so, and Josh is going to actually get the introduction sequence to Anna Mesopotamia on the screen so you guys can see it, which is exciting because I only finished it.
Can you tell me what it is?
A couple of days ago. Anna Mesopotamia. Intro animation. Oh no, sorry, go back up. Sorry, I have a very esoteric that one. File cataloging system. That is tricky.
Okay. Okay, did that play?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. All right, hang on, everybody.
Oh, it didn't play on that though.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Good.
But it would have. The sound.
Aha. Ta-da! Yep, that's good.
All right, ready? Oh, you know what? It's not.
But it looks so pretty.
I want to do it again.
There's fancy music.
Hold on.
There's fancy music that goes along with it, and he wants you to hear the music
I don't
too.
know why it's not. Hang on. You should talk.
I should talk.
Hello.
Well, I can't see anyone's questions, so I can't answer them.
Oh, that's why. Hold on. Because there's nothing coming through them because...
we're using the wrong... What's it?
There we go.
Okay,
right.
Here we go. Try again.
Oh man, that is
I don't
so
want
cool.
to tell you how long it took me to get all of that properly queued up and matched with the music. But yes, so the kids channel is coming January 1st. There will be the channel trailer and a video, and then after that there will be a new upload monthly. I'm very excited about that. Mr. Atheist is going to come on and beatbox with you.
Awesome. Hey, you know, Jimmy, come on to Skylar's channel anytime you want, man. We'll get down to get down.
Iron Charioteer. Should all Christians get circumcised because Jesus was a Jew?
That's an odd thing to say.
Autobot Starscream is Sumerian related to Akkadian? Nope, not even a little bit.
I mean, well, related. No, they...
Sumerian turns up in Akkadian texts.
They do interact a lot.
They share
Absolutely.
a lot of well, obviously a lot of signs, but like vocabulary makes its way over and names.
They're definitely two distinct languages that are not, like Akkadian doesn't come from Sumerian, but like they're not linguistically related, but they mesh a lot.
Sorry, I'm going through. The age for the kids channel, so it's aimed at middle schoolers. Any younger than that might get a little confused. Older than that would be absolutely fine. They might find it a bit simplistic, but it's aimed at middle school social studies. Josh took no economics classes at all. He's a philologist and an historian. Matt Kelso, is this book going to teach me how to say things like I am Matt the Great or how to decipher cuneiform tablets? Definitely the latter, but you could probably say I am Matt the Great.
Yeah, I would think so.
After reading it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Practical applications. I like it. Let me see. Going down. Down. Sorry. Sorry. Mr. Atheist will come on Skylar's show as long as he can beatbox while you sing Rap God. He says he's kidding. He would love to.
I got a laptop in my back pocket.
Will there be an extended dance mix of the theme music for the kids show? No. There is a 2-minute version. I spliced this down. There's a 2-minute version floating around on YouTube. It's a very helpful YouTube channel called Free Music for YouTube because I'm not a composer. I can't do that. So, yes. Steve Bowden, Jesus had the best dance moves. Most scholars agree. Yep.
That's consensus.
Autobot Starscream, my point in asking if Sumerian is related to Akkadian is where did the idea that Sumerian is related to all those other languages come from if it's not related to its own neighbor?
Oh.
Because people want to be the first. And if Sumerian is the first written language and people can make the argument that their current spoken language is related to Sumerian, then they can trace their language and their nationality all the way back to Sumerian and the first writing and the first cities and all that kind of thing. That's my assumption. I am willing and happy to be corrected on that. Ultra Testosterone, have you read the book on the historical Jesus by Dr. Ehrman?
Parts of it. But it's been generally I get interrupted with someone on YouTube demanding an answer to something else, and so I have to go, okay. Not that I am beholden to the whims of, I totally am.
Yeah, our research agendas is very much what are people interested in right now?
I do find it funny that people are like, why do you keep making videos on this? It's like, well, because people keep saying,
asking questions.
Josh is dumb. He's a dumb face.
I don't think anyone has ever said dumb face.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Probably have.
Converse Contender would like to read about the 𝑀𝑀𝑊. I could probably do a video on the 𝑀𝑀𝑊. They're pretty cool.
We have one.
We do?
Isn't it great when we have videos?
Oh, yeah, it's an old one, though.
Ah, oldie but a goodie. Bum, 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 bum. Little DC talk. I mean, obviously that song is, but it's the...
Autobot Starscream again. Is Sumerian even the first? What about Chinese, Sanskrit, or the first language in Africa? So not the first language, the first written language that we have evidence of.
Aw, snizzle my mizzle.
There may be earlier written languages, but we haven't found them.
Nope. Sumerian's the best. Ha I love our audience.
They're awesome. Unless we have any more questions, we'll probably head out. I'm going to collapse into bed and sleep a lot. I like that.
I like mute. I hope that I'm hitting mute. I'm probably hitting like amplify.
I don't think we have an amplify button.
Damn.
Is Dr. Robert Eisenman, who wrote the book James, the Brother of Jesus, a good source for New Testament study?
So New Testament studies aren't my field. So there's I won't get into it. I can find out. I can find out for you. If you email me, because I will forget in the next 17 seconds. So digitalhammurabi@gmail.com. And I will find out.
Rand Huso, have you read Richard Carrier's book, The Historicity, which I found well written?
I have not. No.
No, it's on our shelf. We haven't got around to it. Steve Kemble, on a scale of 1 to 10, how easy did you find it to publish this book? What was the hardest part? The hardest part was honestly formatting everything and making sure that it would show up well in print. And I'm still a little worried because my proofs haven't arrived. I haven't managed to look through it and see if there are changes I need to make. It looks okay. The Amazon preview looked fine. But that was quite nerve-wracking getting all of that right.
Let me translate all of that, if I could. Josh, why did you send out that link? That's this case.
That's not what I said. Matt Kelso, question about Inanna in the Gilgamesh and Sumerian stories. Was she sort of demoted as a god because of the new people conquering the realm? No, if anything, she, as Ishtar, got way more importance.
There's, so there was a push, in the 80s, 90s? Come on, Josh. Klaus Wilke and, was it Van Dyke? Trying to look at Sumerian mythology and sort of map it onto political events and the rise and fall of different kingdoms, and so here Inanna is doing this to Abic, and so that represents this or that polity. I can give you resources for that. I can see the book, like the color of it, but I can't remember what it's called. I had to read it my first year at Hopkins, but Yeah, I don't know that. I don't know that a lot of people would subscribe to that sort of interplay. That the mythology is being that specific.
Yeah. It definitely does, like, have a political component, like when you get to Enuma Elish.
Sure.
That's definitely, there are political overtones, but yeah. So Arda1 says the mute button did not work. I could totally hear you just promised to make her an awesome cheesecake.
There are certain things that Megan doesn't want.
Or expect.
And one of them is for me to cook anything that she would then consume, primarily because she values her health or existence.
Ultra Testosterone. What do you think about George Atwill and D.M. Murdoch's perspective on the formation of Christianity? Not read it, don't know.
So, all right, I'll just briefly explain. So, my 6 years at seminary were the New Testament aspects were primarily spent reading theology but more Koine Greek. So I just read a lot of Greek. But I had my major was in Old Testament studies. So as far as the secondary literature and what who are the reputable scholars, that's not information in the New Testament that I have readily available in my brain. So, yeah.
He also wants to know if you're rich, to which I wish to respond, we have 3 children and he works in construction. I will let you draw your conclusions.
Yes, totally. Totally rich. This swag team.
We're very happy.
Does that mean anything?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I think the Goodwill tag is still on here. Hang on.
We're very happy.
Yes, quite.
And we like our life and our children. Matt Kelso. So the story of Gilgamesh seemed like it was a moment in vanquishing the old gods in favor of the new, maybe in relation to how many ancient customers deified their monarchs.
Did he say Gilgamesh?
Yeah.
Are you thinking of the Enuma Elish?
He says Gilgamesh. I wouldn't get that from Gilgamesh.
There is a rap about it, though.
There is a rap about Gilgamesh. Yes. And for everyone asking, the kids are great. Thank you. Very happy. Growing like weeds. We're going to have a 13-year-old in April, which is
scary.
A little scary, yeah. Screw it. So we have 3. We've got another one on the way. I'm pregnant. We're going to have a baby in early August. So I haven't been around much because I'm tired and sick all the time. Yeah, so.
You're amazing. That's what I muted to ask. Are we telling them?
Oh, Shannon, Blake's video, I haven't animated it yet. It will be out. I can get it out in March. I will email you as soon as it goes up, but it will be out in March. So, yes. Mr. Ellis Atheist, is the Gilgamesh story accurate as portrayed on American Dad? I did not know they did Gilgamesh on American Dad.
It's fun to watch the whip, like
the chat catch up with what we've said.
Yeah, having a whip somehow works.
It does, yeah. Autobot Starscream, what language is the Epic of Atrahasis written in?
Huh?
What language is Atrahasis?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There is an earlier version in Sumerian. We don't have a complete version, do we?
Of Atrahasis?
No, this like.
Oh, the flood story.
𝀭Support,
Sure.
But yes. Let me see. Oh, apparently Santa wants to steal Gilgamesh's power in the American Dad version. I would suggest that it is not accurate.
I feel like
possibly very entertaining.
I feel like Santa's powers are greater than Gilgamesh's. I think Gilgamesh
Yeah.
would have gotten down with
Yeah.
some Santa being able to go over the entire world in one night, running through that tunnel,
Yeah,
if it was a tunnel.
that's true. That's true. And Gilgamesh is ultimately a man.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what Santa is, but he doesn't seem to be mortal. Ultra testosterone is 4 kids the ideal number. I have 2 boys and 1 girl. I'm trying to figure out if I should have more. I think that's a personal decision that you and your partner need to make. It's a good number for us.
Well,
and I'm one of 4, so I have a special fondness for big families.
What is the significance of the number 4? We could ask Harold Camping. Good evening. How are you tonight? Again, may I have the privilege and the pleasure of coming into your home to visit with you for a little while? Okay. Sorry.
I love you.
Anybody remember Harold Camping? Oh, the guy that predicted.
I mean, I know of him because you've told me about him before, but yeah, he is not. He's not someone that I ever listened to.
You are with child.
I am indeed. Well done. You did it. Anyway, that's probably us for tonight, unless anyone has any pressing questions. But it was lovely to see you all. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, if you buy the book, please leave a review.
Yes, please.
If you do not want a copy with typos, I suggest you wait until January 1st. That would be a good idea. Oh, Miss Jester, I love you too. Hope I get to buy you a beer. You do. Thank you so much. That is very kind of you. Our people are the awesomest people.
They really is. BR2M.
They really is. Anyway, we're going to go because I need to go to bed. I'm really tired. But have a fantastic new year and rest of 2019. And yeah, there'll be another live stream in January 1st. There will be another live stream, and we will officially launch the kids channel. We will also launch our HAPS 2020 fundraising drive for our scholarship program. What else are we doing on the 1st? Was that it? I think that's it, because I think this was the other thing. Arduin, congratulatory super chat. Thank you. You guys are awesome.
Did you say that we're letting the audience pick the name of the baby?
I did not say that at all. Someone is saying we should let the audience pick the name of the baby.
Kali Shari.
No.
That was my vote.
No. No. But it's lovely to see you all. Happy New Year. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy Yule. Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah. Whatever other... I don't get epidurals, ultra testosterone. Thanks for the advice, dude. I also have a midwife, so I think I'm probably pretty cool on the labor front. Yeah, happy whatever holiday it is you're celebrating. And yeah, we'll see you all later.
Until next time.
Jimmy's going to pay us to name our last child, Jimmy.
All right. Until next time. Resist poor scholarship. Always ask,
how do you know that?